Chase Claypool and several others exited practice today, while several others also did not practice in the first place. So the injuries are piling up. That is certainly not ideal. One player is set to return as Dante Pettis has been activated from the non-football injury list. Perfect timing for him. I'll explain why here in a moment. And Matt Eberflus announced the preseason plans for the opener against Tennessee on Saturday. How long will starters play? We'll tell you all about that and a whole lot more here on today's show. But before we dive in, you want to follow back on Twitter? Follow these steps. Share this video on Twitter. Make sure you tag me in the tweet. And by the way, to share, just click the share button, click Twitter. Then you tag me at HGramNFL. Also, in that same tweet, throw a hashtag FGB on the tweet. I'm asking for a couple extra steps here. Want to see who goes above and beyond. You also got to be following me to get a follow back. First 10 people who do all that will get a follow back. If you can't remember all the steps, screenshot this graphic right now. That way you get a follow back on Twitter. All right, let's get to those injuries as they are starting to pile up a little bit here for the Chicago Bears. These are players that didn't practice in the first place today, 10 of them to be exact. Running back Travis Homer, wide receiver Dante Pettis, who has been activated. We're going to talk about him. Tight end Mercedes Lewis, he's a vet. He's not going to practice every day. He's almost 40. Offensive guard Nate Davis, who did practice on Tuesday. Pads went back on today. He did not practice. Don't love that. Lucas Patrick, it remains out. DeMarcus Walker remains out. Terrell Lewis didn't practice today. That one's fairly new. Tremaine Edmonds has missed almost a week now. Terrell Smith has missed the last couple of practices, as has Jaquan Brisker. Now, these were the three players who left practice today with injuries. Chase Claypool, who appeared to pull up with a hamstring injury, according to Nicholas Moriano of CHGO, others who reported that with boots on the ground. Equanimeous St. Brown appeared to tweak his ankle per reports, and Alex Leatherwood left practice with trainers and did not return. Claypool and St. Brown did stay on the sidelines. They just didn't continue working out, so maybe that's more of a positive for those two. Unsure about Leatherwood, who did completely exit. Now, Matt Eberflus was asked specifically around Tremaine Edmonds and DeMarcus Walker, but I think his answer applied to most or all of these guys, that he's not concerned about their statuses for week one. Now, they're going to miss some preseason games probably. I would not expect at least half those guys to play here on Saturday. But as far as the opener against Green Bay goes, no concern there. He spoke specifically around Tremaine Edmonds going through those mental reps, the walkthrough reps, still making the calls, so he's getting those repetitions there. But if you're asking me about where I'm at this point with these injuries piled up, I think I'm more annoyed than concerned, because we're not at the point where any of these injuries are, long-term, because Flus has told us that he will tell us if they are long-term injuries, but this is a young team that needs practice reps. Like, it's not like you want DeMarcus Walker to not play until week one. Like, you want him to get those reps with this defense. And Nate Davis, I know he's a bit of a vet, but it's like, come on, man. Like, we gave you 3 years and $30 million, and you've practiced twice, and you haven't practiced with pads on. Like, these guys need to get back out there as soon as possible. It's not a concern. It's more of an annoyance at this point in time. What is your one-word reaction to describe the Bears' injuries at this point? Mine is annoyed, because the Bears, again, have been fortunate that none of these have been deemed long-term. A lot of teams have lost players for the season already, but I am a bit annoyed. It's a high volume of players that are missing practice, and now you add Claypool and St. Brown and Leatherwood. You're just like, oh, come on, man. Especially with Claypool. You're like, you've had this great camp, and now he pulls up with the hammy. You're like, geez, that's just kind of a disappointment. But let us know what your one-word reaction is. All right, Dante Pettis has been activated from the non-football injury list. This is obviously a very good sign for Dante Pettis, and it's very good timing for him as well. I'll tell you why it's good timing for Pettis here in just a moment, but I do want to shout out our sponsor here on today's show, and that is Rocket Money. Guys, here's the deal. You probably are paying for subscriptions on a monthly or annual basis that you don't even know about, because you probably signed up for some streaming service because your friend told you to watch a show, which at the time, hey, worth it, right? Then you just totally forgot you even had it, Apple TV, Hulu, etc., and you're just getting charged monthly. Rocket Money is going to help you save money by canceling any unnecessary subscriptions. This is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. With Rocket Money, you can easily cancel the subscriptions you don't want with just the press of a single button. No more long hold times or annoying emails with customer service. Rocket Money does all of the work for you. They can even help negotiate to lower your bills for you by up to 20%. All you have to do is take a picture of your bill, and Rocket Money takes care of the rest. One more thing here Rocket Money does, you can monitor your expenses all in one place and even set custom budgets if you're trying to reach certain benchmarks on a month-to-month basis. I'll just tell you about me. My son starts daycare this month. I just wrote a fat check for the next 2 months of daycare. I've got to start a budget, so Rocket Money's helping me do that. RocketMoney.com/Bears now. Download the app by using our link to support us and support our sponsors. That way we can continue to grow. That link is in the comments and in the description of this video. So Dante Pettis is coming back at a good time. Why is that, Harrison? Well, Equanimeous St. Brown and Chase Claypool just got banged up. Dante Pettis was firmly on the bubble heading into training camp. Well, he has not practiced up to this point, so that puts him behind the 8 ball. But now he comes back with still enough time left, and a couple of guys that are ahead of him in the pecking order, well, they might miss some time here. So he's going to get some practice reps here. You look at what Pettis did last year. The reception to target ratio is not very good, under 50%, but he did have a few big plays. He actually had the most touchdown catches among receivers. Cole Kmet had 7, but he's a tight end. He actually sparked a little bit at times. A couple of big plays last year. Long touchdown against San Francisco and against Washington. And he had a pretty strong spring, too. Like, good OTAs. A couple of weeks for him. He had a good mandatory minicamp, but he's obviously a little behind the 8 ball here in training camp because he's missed a couple of weeks. But now he's back. He's been activated. Hopefully he can at least do a little bit at tomorrow's practice. We'll see if he plays Saturday. That would surprise me with virtually no practice, but you never know. Maybe it's an opportunity for him to get out there and play a drive or two. Now, will Dante Pettis make the 53-man roster? What do you guys think? Type Y for yes, or you can type in for no. Get your thoughts in the comments. I think he's on the outside looking in, but he's still got enough time to make it. And if a guy like Velus Jones struggles at punt return, that could be his path to the roster as well, because we know Pettis is sure-handed on special teams. Subscribe to the channel and join us for our Titans-Bears watch party on Saturday. We're going to go live at 11 a.m. Central for a noon kickoff. A lot of surprises, a lot of fun as well. We might even have some call-in opportunities, not the call-in app like we used to do, but calling into the show during our post-game stream, so that could be some fun. So we're still ironing all that out, but we will be live an hour before kickoff for a pregame show, full play-by-play coverage during the game, and a post-game show as well. Do not miss out. Bears, Titans, preseason opener. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. And speaking of which, Matt Eberflus announced his plans for what the Bears are going to do in the opener in regards to how long starters will play. Here's what he had to say. We'll have selected starters play here and there. We'll talk with the coaches about guys and when they're going to play and how many reps for each guy. That'll be an individualized thing. We'll figure that out with the coaches today. He did confirm that Justin Fields will play. Again, how long will that be? I would say 1 or 2 drives. One, if Fields gets at least a first down, maybe 2, and gets 5+ snaps, that might be enough for this first game. They might just sit him down after that. If they go 3 and out, I could see him and the offense getting another drive. We'll have to wait and see. I wouldn't expect more than 1 elongated drive, though, for Fields and the primary offensive starters. Maybe some of the starting offensive linemen play a little longer, like rookie Darnell Wright, but again, it'll be individualized. They'll determine for each player how long roughly they want them to play. Here's what Flus had to say in regards of what he wants to see out of Fields in the offense, and he pointed to the operation. He said, the operation, number 1. Can we get in and out of the huddle crisp and execute the play? Can he make all the protection calls that he needs to make and make the adjustments? Just the operation, that's what we're looking for. So I think in this first preseason game, considering it's a month out from the regular season, and I think a lot of teams would point to this, is like, let's minimize the just headache stuff, right? Let's not have any pre-snap penalties. Let's not have a delay of game. Let's get the play call in right. Let's get that part first. And then if you have good success in terms of post-snap, that's great as well. Here's what I would consider a big success in this first preseason game for Justin Fields. No penalties or sacks taken. Obviously, he can't completely control the penalties. Complete multiple passes. Give me two or more completions. I don't really care about him running around in the preseason. And if he leads a scoring drive, field goal or touchdown, that's even bonus. I don't necessarily need to see that for this to be a success. If he goes out there, gets a couple of first downs, maybe a third down conversion, cool. I would deem that a success. But have it be crisp, like Flus said. Have the operation. Get everybody lined up right. If he needs to make a check, if he identifies a blitz, do that as well. Check those boxes. I'll be pretty content with this first game. Now, what do you guys think? Will Justin Fields lead a scoring drive on Saturday? Doesn't have to be a touchdown, field goal or more. Type S for score, he will lead to points, or W for won't. He may only get one drive, so, probability would say that he would more likely not than he will, but I'm going to go glass half full. How about this? One drive, field goal drive. 7 plays, 62 yards, a little 38-yarder for Cairo Santos. Call it a day for Fields and the starters, and we move on to week 2.